Dust is looking good. I'll check it in a second. Definitely seeing signs of a bullish reversal there. So GoPro has the 100 period moving resistance that it's fighting at 29.01, and after that 29.28 is the level to watch. Dust had the 3 gap downs, is currently up. Nice pre-market uptrend here. We have the 20 period moving average support of 16.31. That's a key level to watch. We did have this gravestone doji up here signaling the top of this uptrend and a little bit of pullback. Let's look on the daily chart for Dust for resistance and support levels. Currently trading at 16.50. That puts us above the high of yesterday, which was 16.45. That's a good sign. The high from Tuesday was 17.08. And then after that, the 200-day moving average resistance is 1972. So could see a little bounce from Dust. We'll see how high it gets. Moving average resistance isn't until 1972. LBIO. 673, not a whole lot of pre-market volume. Watching the 20 period moving average of 674. Checking out the daily chart. We can see it rejected from the middle Bollinger Band resistance of 675 yesterday. That's a very key level. The high was 671, so looking like we're going to open higher, a little bit higher than the high. Watch volume, increasing volume the past 3 days. Need to see more than 830,000. We have the 675 resistance and then the 50-day resistance of 702. Wide range yesterday, 575 to 675. SLV, silver, pulled back here this morning, now starting an uptrend, turned the 20 period moving average into support, 1484. Looking back, we'll need to see a break of $15 to set a higher high from pre-market. And let's check out the daily chart. I know we were hitting some key resistance and ready for a pullback. 200-day moving average was 1528. We closed 1 penny above it, but now dropping down. The low of yesterday was 1514, so we're below that. And the low the day before was 1506, so we are dropping down and looking like we could find support on the 100-day moving average of 1470. That's the key level for silver, is 1470 on the daily. So let's check back in with SPY. All about 198.86 and 198.91. Those are very key levels. So we got 10 minutes until the open here. Checking back in with Netflix, there is that 100 and 200 period resistance. Facebook, same thing, 100 period resistance, rejecting the stock. Amazon, big drop off here. That is setting it apart from other stocks we're looking at. Rejected from the 20 period moving average resistance and also now below the 100 and 200 period moving average support. So those are resistances, 537.10 and 537.24. Expecting a back test of these resistances in the near future. But Amazon is looking a little weak here. 536. Let me check the daily chart again. We bounced off support on the daily chart. Middle Bollinger Band 528.56. So that is the key level to watch. If we see a close below the middle Bollinger Band, it will indicate some more downtrend is coming. Let's check out Tesla. 100 period moving average support. 231.77 is resistance. So it's all going to be about the 100 period moving average resistance for these stocks to start the day. TTPH, you can see we had a double top yesterday. We had a high of 966 and then a high of 965, and that was a signal that we were going to pull back, which we did. 20 period moving average support right now is 925. There's a very wide spread on this pre-market. 899 is the 100 period. Nice steady uptrend from yesterday. Need to find support and then head back up and set a higher high over 866, or excuse me, 966. That is the key. Going to be watching GoPro closely today. ASNA, Sunni as always, TANH, and VLKAY as well. Not going to see the third gap up I was looking for today for a potential bearish reversal. But there's been some profit to be made in VLKAY the past couple days. Let's see how Twitter's opening. Twitter's been strong, but extended above the upper Bollinger Band on the daily chart. 29.71 is the 100 period resistance there. And expecting some pullback in the near future for Twitter. AA pre-market on the 5-minute chart, pulling back. 100 period moving average resistance of 10.91. And for SPY, of course, we're going to be watching the 50-day moving average again. That level is 199.08, and we will see where it opens today. If we close below it, that will turn it back into resistance and increase the likelihood we come down to fill the 195.03 gap. 2 trading days left in the week. We're going to be watching the weekly resistance. 10-week moving average for SPY is currently support at 198.01, but if we close below it, it will put us in a pretty defined channel on the weekly chart between 100 period moving average support 193.83 and 10 period resistance 198.01. So SPY in a very tight range here as we're going into the open. 6 minutes left to go. Some increasing bearish or bullish volume, but we have the 198.86 resistance should be tested first thing. And we have some smaller, higher lows forming here just in this little previous 45-minute period. So we'll be watching to see if we get a lower low compared to 198.47 or if we break this high back here of 198.83. TANH, the bid is now 775, looking good to set a higher high first thing in the morning if that holds up. And we'll be watching hemp closely as always. Things are getting very interesting there. We're either going to see a breakout or a breakdown as the Bollinger Bands on the daily chart are tightening, coming to an inflection point. Weekly chart looks bullish, but never want to assume what the stock's going to do. We're going to watch to see if 5-cent support can hold. Sunni is now just 3 cents down from its close on the ask, turning the 20 period and 100 period into support. So this puts it at a more bullish position than all the other stocks we just looked at because it has the 100 period as support and has held it twice. So that's a bullish sign for Sunni. We'll be looking at the psychological resistance of $10, the high of the day 10.07. Those will be the key levels. So 5 minutes until we open here. Going to be cautious as we are bullish on Sunni because SPY looks like we might find that 50 period moving average resistance and pull back. If that is the case, Sunni is going to be trying to tread upstream in terms of bullish activity. We know how closely SPY and Sunni trade together, and we also have X and SPY trading very closely together. I want to point out X for a second because it had a bearish reversal doji form yesterday. It was still able to maintain the middle Bollinger Band support on the daily chart, but X candlestick definitely indicated that we would have some bearish follow through today. I might have to contact Fidelity about this. They just updated Fidelity Active Trader Pro to a new version, which I had to download, and it is certainly a little slower today. So if that keeps up, I'll have to contact them and see what is up. Currently trading right around the close of yesterday, so we'll see if we lose $12 support on X. OAS pulling up the daily chart. Rejected from the 200-day moving average of 1401 and pulling back. It did bounce off of the 100 period moving average support, 100 day 1246. Let's see where we're trading at this morning. But after 6 green candles in a row going from $8.50 to the $14, certainly consolidation is due. So it is up a little bit, trying to turn this 100 period of $13 into support. And we'll be watching 1246 for support on the daily chart, 1401 for resistance. VTL had a bullish day yesterday. Wow, look at that end of the day. Closed at 451. Very bullish. Checking out the daily chart as we don't have pre-market action. Close at the high of the day. Upper Bollinger Band resistance is 478 and want to set a higher high over 480. That was a bit of a double top on September 24th and 25th. So breaking 480 resistance would be a very bullish sign for VTL. UWTI, a 200 period moving average resistance, pulling back a little bit, 1285. 100 period support that we bounced off a few times is 1250. So that's a pretty defined range. 1250, 1285, closes above one or the other will dictate the short-term direction for UWTI and oil. So we got about a minute until the open here. Looking like SPY's going a little bit bullish, running up into the bell. Set a higher high on increasing volume compared to back here, and now looking to turn the 100 and 200 period into support. So 198.90 is the key level to turn into support. I'm going to pause for a moment here while we transition into the opening bell. Five, four, three. All right, so we've got the open here in a few seconds, and the current position of SPY above these 100 and 200 period moving average supports is definitely bullish. We'll look to see if it can maintain it as support, back test it, and continue upwards. I'm disregarding these candlesticks that have these highs here as they look like fluke trading, and we're looking at the high of pre-market is being set just now before the bell. So here's the open. Watching 199. Hemp set a higher high already. Nice bid at 5.2. And that is a good sign. We're looking for a close over 5.4 to get traders interested in hemp. TANH. 767 high, looking like $8 resistance. We'll see how that plays out. And ASNA is right around where we closed at 14.19. So watching SPY very closely as it comes to the support back test of 198.89. So Sunni, not a whole lot of volume. Definitely watching Sunni very closely. And I am definitely going to have to contact Fidelity because I'm seeing lag in my Active Trader Pro. I'll do that in the middle of the day. So definitely a low volume day comparatively for Sunni. Yesterday was a huge volume day, and today not even 100,000 shares traded yet. But SPY is bullish as long as we're above these 100 and 200 period supports. GoPro pulling back below the key 28.90 support. Need to see that maintain. And let's check out where Sunni's 100 period moving average support is. That is at 958, the must hold level. If we lose 958, the low pre-market is 951, and then 929 is the 200 period moving average support. Thank you, Eat. I remember when IPOs used to be easy money and a whole lot of fun to play, but in the current market, they're a lot less certain in terms of the direction they are going to head. So TAN H just hit 793. We're seeing that $8 resistance as some bids or some asks are walking down the bid. 39-cent spread right now. That's a huge spread and something to take note of and be cautious of. ASNA is continuing up. 1436 high now, looking great. 1440 is the resistance level we're looking to break. And here's SPY bouncing off those 100 and 200 period supports. Nice back test and currently holding it. SUNY, we're watching 929 200 period moving average support, looking like we're going to pull back a little bit. VVUS 20 period moving average support is 194. Gapped up, and we don't want to fall into a gap and trap. The gap fills at 195. 200 period moving average resistance is 227 on the daily chart. Definitely something to keep your eye on. ASNA coming up to that 1440 resistance level, and TANH pulling back now and threatening to go red. So definitely want to watch here. The 200 period moving average resistance is 799. 20 period resistance is 760. Lots of volatility in TANH and this wide spread. So back to SPY, continuing to test this 100 and 200 period support. Going to give us some key information here in the next 10 minutes as GoPro is dropping hard. Low yesterday for GoPro support was 2752. TTPH pulling back, need to see $9 support hold. And let's check out the levels for SUNY as we have SPY being bullish and SUNY pulling back hard. Need to close above the 100 period, which it's looking like we are not going to do. Support is 929. SPY at its high of day, so looking good for the markets so far, but the resistance we are watching is the 50-day. Let's get an update and see what that is going to be the key level today. 50-day moving average resistance on SPY. And that level is 198.88. So currently above it, that dropped fairly significantly from yesterday. We'll be watching 198.88 very closely. ASNA just broke that 1440 level. If we get a close above it, it will be a good sign that we could head on up to $16 gap fill. SPY continuing to head higher. Very nice bounce off the support, but we are looking at an RSI now of 64, so getting up there slowly. We'll see if SUNY is going to follow along bullish with this SPY move. TTPH is maintaining that $9 support. Let's check out the 5-minute chart. A good entry for ASNA would be off $14 support. The key was to get in. The best entry was yesterday when we saw we were going to close above $14. There was plenty of opportunity between $14.10 and $14.20. I'll look at the 5-minute chart in a second here. TTPH key support is 901 100 period. So let's check out ASNA where we could pull back to. The 20 period moving average support is 1418 if we do drop that low. But looking like we're heading higher currently, setting high of day. RSI is up at 80, so I do not suggest entry to ASNA at the moment. SUNY is continuing to pull back. Not seeing the bullish activity that we did yesterday as SPY is testing again for a second time these key supports. 198.89 is the key level to maintain. If we close below them, we got the 20 period support of 198.73. Coming down to test the low of the day right now for SPY. And still that wide spread on TANH. Need to see that close up a bit. So SUNY still isn't at the volume we saw pre-market for yesterday, so that's a key that it's going to be a much slower day. Perhaps a consolidation day. We'll be looking to see if there's any bullish movement off of the 929 200 period moving average on the 5-minute chart. TANH is pulling back now. $7 is going to be psychological support. $6.50 is the must-hold level, and $8 is resistance. So a new low for SPY, bouncing off the 20-period moving average support. If we close below that, we will zoom out and look at the pre-market for where we found support there, and that was down at 198.33. So that could be where we are headed here, as SPY is quickly losing support levels. So potentially start planning your bearish trades. If we do see SPY lose these supports, we can expect some more bearish downside. Currently maintaining that 20-period support though, with less than 2 minutes for this candlestick to close. Sunni still dropping. Let's see what the 5-minute RSI is there. 200 period support, 929. RSI is 26 right now. So if we get to this level, it could be a potential nice entry, but with SPY looking like we might fall off a cliff, it might be a risky entry. But 929 is that level. Increasing bearish volume. RSI 27. SPY at its low of day. Amazon right now is losing key support, looking like a bearish day. With SPY pulling back too, I expect more downside. Can't give any good entry for the bulls at the moment. Need to see how far we're going to drop with SPY. Going to take Amazon down with it. Amazon support on the daily chart is 529.21. We bounced off that level nicely yesterday. That could potentially be a good level of support, but I would want to see where SPY is trading and the overall market. So Sunni dropping hard now, right through the 200 period moving average support. RSI is now 20. We're going to have a nice bounce here eventually, but not yet. Continuing to drop now down to 912. We're looking at $9 psychological support. RSI is now under 20. Just hit 911 very quickly on increasing bearish volume. Here's a quick bounce. Didn't really give any chance for entry. We'll see if we get rejected from the 200 period moving average resistance of 929. ASNA continuing to look nice, holding up above 1440. TANH is dropping significantly. 650 is a must-hold level. Hemp is at its high of day, 535, testing 10-day moving average resistance, looking good. Seeing some bullish action for the first time in a few days. Close above 5.4 would be a great sign. Let's check back in with Amazon. Watching for it to come back up, test this resistance level of 537.43 and potentially pull back from that resistance. Here's Sunni testing its low of day again. It just hit 914. 911 is the low. ASNA, new high of day. Let's check on SPY and how we're doing with support there. Setting a lower low. Back tested the 200 period resistance and now dropping to a new low. So bearish start to the day, support of 198.47. 198.47 is support on SPY. We're going to be watching this 20 period to 198.70. ASNA up into the 1450s now, looking great. It's going to be a good play today. Sunni, very nice bounce, 20 cents bounce. Looking to turn that 200 period back into support, but looking like we just failed. So watching this rejection, could be some more downside. Here's Hemp touching 5.4. Want to see a close above it. ASNA moving up pretty quickly now. Nice bullish volume. Close over 14 was a very clear bullish signal for ASNA on multiple time frames. That's why we stocked this trade for over a week, waiting for it to happen, and once it happened, that was the go signal. So Sunni is currently above the 200 period now. TANH, very hard to say at this point. We have a higher high and currently a higher low, but with the wide spread and sparse volume, definitely warrants remaining cautious. A green day today confirms the bullish reversal, but need to see a nice green day, and we are currently red. So here's SUNY, nice bounce. Where this candlestick closes will be important, relating to the 200 period moving average support or resistance. So a 40-cent spread on TANH is a little scary. But as long as 650 holds, TANH is looking good for a bounce. So SUNY is going to hold this 200 period moving average support, it appears, although there's getting a little bit more volatility as volume's coming in now. Not trading with SPY here first thing in the morning. Although a little bit, SPY having this green candlestick trying to maintain 20 period moving average support. Let's check out ASNA again. RSI is at 79, needs to cool off a little bit. Support is down at 1420. And SUNY is trading opposite to SPY. SPY is pulling back close to its low, and SUNY, very nice bounce from 911 to 941. Maintaining 20 period moving average support of 929. Resistance is the 100 period at 958. Netflix, very bullish start to the day. Watching this upper wick as the RSI is up at 81. Could see some pullback from there. And Apple dumped to start the day. If it closes below $110, I expect 107.50 to come up in the near future on Apple. So the 5-minute candlestick just formed. We have a clear range here with SPY, 20 period moving average support of 198.70 and 100 period resistance with the 200 right there is 198.87. Going to test that right now. SUNY is in its defined range now with 200 period support, 100 period resistance. So 930 and 958 are those ranges. TTPH able to maintain $9 support. And SPY with a nice little bullish spike here. We'll see if it's able to close above these resistances. That is the key. All about where the candlestick closes. ASNA, new high of day. Not cooling off much on the 5-minute chart, but we saw that happen yesterday when bulls saw that we were going to close above $14. We didn't cool off until, or at all, for the last half hour of trading. So seeing some follow through of that here. SPY up close to testing its high of day, 10 cents short of that now. And TANH is back above $7, so as long as it is above $7, that's a good sign. Watching volume of 70,000 comparatively to yesterday. Nothing standing out just yet in terms of TANH. So here's SPY pulling back from 199.08. That's going to be a lower high unless we can break 199.14. SUNY pulling back a little bit as well. GoPro, it's all about 28.90. If it's able to close above 28.90 again, it will maintain it as support for the 4th test in a row. But the bulls are definitely doing or struggling to maintain this support. Not touching it until we see a close above 3150 resistance. Just watching to see how much strength and support there is, and right now it is not looking too strong. Yesterday's low was 27.52. Higher low so far, but it's all about where we close in relation to 28.90. So a slow day in terms of volatility first thing in the morning here. ASNA continuing up, new high of day. Let's see what Tesla is doing. Off to a rough start pre-market. And still feeling the hurt. We have the 20-period moving average resistance knocking the price down to 229.81. And we have support of the low of the day, 228.17. Let's check at what the middle Bollinger Band support on the daily chart has opened up at. Oh, I was thinking of Amazon. So we're looking at the resistance now on Tesla, looking pretty darn bearish with the 200-period resistance of 231.91 and a lower low being set in. Lower Bollinger Band resistance is also 231.10. Hemp, new high of day. I'm really liking the action we're seeing so far in the morning. Need to see the bids walk up to push the ask up. People are going to be hesitant to buy at 5.5 if the bid's all the way down at 5.2. So Tesla certainly under a lot of pressure on the daily chart, losing the 200-period moving average support. Nice job taking profits, Brad. As ASNA, new high of 14.64. Again, we could see $16 in the next couple of weeks. SUNY testing that 200-period moving average support again. I'll check CHK quickly. 20-period support of 909 for CHK, looking at the daily chart. Consolidating range. And CHK, the high of day yesterday was 944, so a lower high so far. If we can't set a higher high, it's going to set up a pullback on CHK. So let's see if SUNY can hold this 200-period support. Testing it right now, 930 is that level. And let's see where SPY is playing out on the 5-minute chart. Maintaining that support, looking to set higher highs over 199.14. TANH still above $7. SUNY has now lost that support, and the support is 911, the low of the day. Let's see how dust is playing out. Bullish pre-market, consolidated right at the open and struggling with the 20-period moving average resistance of 1648. Support is 1588. ASNA, new high of day, continuing up. No real bearish reversal candlesticks forming, but RSI is up at 84.50. Watching SUNY closely, this candlestick still has 3 minutes until it forms. Let's see how CLF is trading this morning. A little bit of a bounce over $3. Checking out KND on the daily chart. That was one we were following for a bounce, and it's consolidating. So looking for a double bottom on KND at 1276. Current low today is 1289. Doesn't look like we have any news with hemp. Just looks like, I think it's all technical at this point. We do have sellers that have unknown amounts of shares that have been at 5.2 the past 2 days. They've been sitting on 5.2, and it looks like they moved off of it and seeing a little bit of bullish activity because of it. If we close on the end of the week above 5.5, it will be very bullish on the weekly chart and daily chart. Hemp at this point for me is a technical play. Governor signing the bill would help, but not seeing the news and volume relating to it that was anticipated. So SPY is bouncing and trying to maintain this key 100 and 200 period support. Candlestick closes in about a minute and a half. Sunni looking like it's going to maintain that 200 period support. And ASNA, another new high of day, slow and steady, continuing up. Let's check out the Sunni chart. We have resistance at 946 and maintaining this 200 period support fairly well. Thank you, Sam. Looking like that is the target with the gap fill, $16. Hey, Willie, let's check out Apple. Apple in some bearish pressure, needs to close above $110 to maintain it as support. A close below 110, and we're looking like 107.50 will be tested. Currently setting a higher low. The low of the day is 109.03. Need to maintain that. 8-period exponential moving average has been resistance. And we'll see if we can keep this higher low. So far, it's looking like the bulls are buying the 109.20 level. Sunni and SPY are both heading up. SPY is 10 cents short of its high of day, and Sunni is testing the 100 period resistance. Nope, not yet, not that high. 946 is a double top currently on these two previous candlesticks. So clear resistance 946, clear support 930. ASNA keeps going, nice bid at 1471. Would not suggest entry at this point for ASNA. Entry was yesterday at the end of the day. RSI is now 87, so we're going to see a cool off potentially at close 15. SPY testing summers up there. Oh, we have a double top at the high of day right now at 199.14. We'll see if we can break it right here. That will be important. And there it is, higher high. Sunni testing the 200 period support. We'll see if it gets a little jump here following SPY's bullish activity. Not seeing it translate onto Sunni's action. Bearish reversal candlestick, good eye. On ASNA 5-minute chart, we still have over 3 minutes until this candlestick forms, so a little early to call it. As Sunni's really struggling with this support. Still maintaining it. We had a low previous candlestick of 926, but that 946 double top might be scaring away some of the bulls. A break of 926 will be bearish and make it that much more likely that we're going to come and test 911. So pretty tight range for SPY here this morning. Maintaining those key support levels. And there's Sunni breaking 926 support and dropping down. Very quick drop. Support is 911. Netflix bearish reversal candle on the 5-minute. RSI is overextended. We had a low here of 109.45. If we break that, we could drop down. Support is 108.30, although it has been riding up 4-period exponential moving average support. Candlestick forms in about a minute and a half and looking like a doji at the top of the uptrend. Let's check out the daily chart for Netflix. $50-day moving average resistance was 109.10. So that is a target on a pullback because it is now support. Higher high and a higher low for Netflix compared to yesterday. So a bullish start to the day, but the 5-minute chart is a little overextended. ASNA continuing to pull back a little bit. Let's see where we're going to find support for ASNA. 20-period moving average is 14.29. SPY coming down to test key support again. Definitely seeing some resistance up here at 199.10. Lots of upper wicks pulling back from that level. Netflix increase in bearish volume. Candlestick's about to form. Break of 109.45 will signal some more downside. Watching Netflix to confirm the bearish reversal. And watching SPY. If we see SPY lose these key supports, it would be a signal for potential entry into bearish plays. As of right now, though, Netflix maintaining this low on this hammer of 109.45, maintaining that support. It dropped down to 109.51 before bouncing. Watching Sunni 911 support. And SPY a new high. So SPY's looking good. I think that's why we're seeing Netflix not confirming this bearish reversal. Nice strong candlestick for SPY setting a higher high. So that's why it's important to make sure you're watching the overall markets with whatever play you were looking to get into. ASNA is now pulling back 24 cents from its high of day. 14.30 is support. And Netflix not confirming the bearish reversal, although still seeing some resistance.